In this video today, I have a bunch of cards sold. I sold 26 cards on eBay, 2 on Etsy, and 2 on Hip. So it was a pretty good day yesterday. I'll sprinkle those throughout the video as I go through the different topics. And then, were you naughty or nice for Christmas? I'm going to show you one of the Europeans' best Christmas cards, and it's called Krampus, the Devil of Christmas. And I'll go in a little bit of highlights on what that is and what to look for. Those cards can demand good money if you can find them. Then I did another poll. What type of reseller are you? Part-time, full-time, other? Got some good statistics back on that. And then I got some viewer comments to go over just to create some discussion about how I do things or my thoughts or other people's thoughts that I pulled out of the channel comments, emails, and different places. But I'm going to go ahead and get through the Hip cards and the Etsy cards, and then I'll get into Krampus. Is he a devil? So the first 2 cards that sold on Hip were naval ship cards. This is the larger prints. This is a little bit bigger than a Continental. This is the Tacoma C-18. Sold between $4 and $5. And these sold to the same person. And this one's the USS Little Rock CLG-4. And this was commissioned around 1945. So right after World War II. But just a nice chrome card, nice and straight. Those will go out on Hip. With the Etsy, Etsy's been kind of growing up a little bit in the last month or two. Been doing a little bit more on Etsy finally. But this is Troy, New York, the dormitories on the quad angle at the Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. So it's a university. So those are the dormitories at the university. So always pick up universities. It's on unposted chrome card. Does have the flea market or antique booth price on there. I don't take those off. I let the collector do them. And the last card that sold on Etsy is the Natural Chimneys, Mount Solomon, somewhere. There's some people down on the bottom here, but rocks. $4 to $5. A lot of people would not list that card. It's just a view card of a landscape, some rocks, some people, $4 to $5. I'll take it. And before I get into the 26 cards for eBay, I'm going to get into right now Krampus. And people say, what is that? Over in the United States here, a lot of people don't know about this fantasy thing for Christmas that was in the European world. But let me give you the definition of Krampus. That's C-R-A-M-P-U-S. And here it is. Krampus, an anamorphic figure in alpine folklore, half goat, half demon beast, who literally beats people into being nice and not naughty. And that's him right here. Krampus' name is derived from the German word Krampen, which means claw, and is said to be the son of Hel in Norse mythology. Now remember, this is coming from the European. Krampus was created as a counterpart to the Santa Claus, who rewarded children with sweets and presents. Krampus, in contrast, would swat wicked children and stuff them in a sack and take them to his lair. So if you were naughty, Krampus would come in, hit you with the birch switches, put you in the sack, and take you down to his lair. Krampus' frightening presence was suppressed for many years. It was just not part of the political climate of Krampus or whatever. But Krampus has been making a resurgence in the past few years, partly to a bah humbug attitude in the current pop culture, with people searching for ways to celebrate the season in non-traditional ways. So people are looking to do something different in the non-traditional ways, and they're bringing Krampus back to life. But there are already complaints that Krampus is becoming too commercialized. And that's probably what will happen with Krampus. It'll come into a fad and then fold away. But I thought it was a pretty neat spin on the Christmas. Was Krampus the devil? Even though he called that, some think not. You'll see a lot of these postcards from the European side of things with Krampus. And one of them is going to have Gruß vom Krampus. And these two examples here that I'm going to put up will show you what, when that pops up, what that means. And the meaning of it is greetings from Krampus. So Gruß von Krampus means greetings from Krampus. And it was a popular slogan on German Christmas cards at the turn of the century. So the first one here, it's a red card, and it just has a little decorative piece on there, and it says Gruß von Krampus. And then the next one is kind of a comic type thing of the Krampus figure, and it says, you know, Gruß von Krampus. So these two cards here are a part of the Krampus folklore in the Christmas things, and you want to look for. They don't demand the top dollars, as you'll see here in a minute, of the regular Krampus cards, but you'll see these out there as well. During the golden era of postcards, between 1898 and 1914. Now remember, with the United States, golden age postcards was 1905 to 1911. Well, Europe is always a little ahead of us and a little bit longer on the postcard world. So it's 1898 to 1914. Creepy Krampus was a particularly popular subject for holiday cards in Eastern Europe. The most valuable cards is the earlier ones. The 1898, early 1900s is what you want to look for with any kind of postcard, but mostly the Krampus cards. Many of the early Krampus cards are extremely rare and some impossible to find. They're in collections already. They were destroyed. They weren't made, you know, ephemera wasn't made to last forever. And the earliest one found was around 1898. So if you can find an earlier Krampus card out there, grab it, you know, for a good price. You don't want to overpay. These are kind of like Halloween cards to me. When I see them, I'll check the price and grab them. But I don't see many of these in the wild. I'll get one in a lot once in a while, but a lot of times they're reproductions. There's a lot of fakes and reproductions of these earlier cards out there, so you always want to make sure they're older. And you can pick up a card and kind of tell if it's vintage or not sometimes, and just give you a sense. You know, if I grab this card here, that feels different than this chrome card here. That's just one of the things to look at. And if it has a smell to it, if it has a postmark on there, just be careful with these Christmas cards and Krampus cards. There's a lot of reprints, reproductions of these, especially if they're 6x4. Most of the times when you see Krampus, you're going to see a hoof foot. One of his foot's got a hoof on it. He's going to have some chains, some bells, and some birch switches. Have a long tongue sticking out and a sack. Those are the most desirable ones when he's like that. The sack is where he puts the misbehaving children in. So Krampus was really a way to make sure kids, you know, stayed nice during the holiday season. And if they did cause any problems, you know, Krampus was going to come get you. Type of folklore thing, but they are really neat cards. And if this is just the highlights of Krampus, there's a whole history behind him and whole different scenes and postcards out there that are just amazing. But if you can find these cards, they're very collectible. But let's see what the prices do for the Krampus cards. You know, and my normal thing I did, I went out to eBay, I sorted the solds by the high, and here's the 3 cards I found top of the list for sold high. As you notice, $99, they took an offer, $59, $60, you know, $59. So they're holding their value there, probably $60, $70 for those 3 Krampus cards. That's not a bad card to find in a lot or somewhere. And then when you get into the sold low here, $40 for it. So they still hold, even the low ones hold their value. It's not that extreme $100 card to $1 card as I see a lot in the postcard pricing. Krampus cards are pretty steady, $50, $60, $70 for your average Krampus cards, and they do sell. And there is some on eBay. Not a lot, but there are some out there. Let's see what people are listing these cards for. So I took the sold off and just did listed high. I sorted it by the highest number. You know, this Krampus card is going for $130. The next one's $125. And just a plain red devil, they got listed for $125. And the low ones out there, 15, 15, and 15. Those might be reproductions on there. I didn't look that close at them. I can't tell from a picture sometimes. So there's some lower ones out there I'd be questionable about. But if they fall between $50 and $60, $70, I would definitely take a look at those. So the pricing isn't that extreme on the Krampus cards, and they are elusive in the wild and when to find them. But they are a neat Christmas card to sell. Gotta be nice, not naughty, or Krampus is gonna come get you. That's Krampus. Okay, so now let me go ahead and get into the eBay cards that I sold. I sold a bunch of these cards. They just kept coming in and coming in all night long, different ones. So I'll go through real quick on what these are. This is just a Misty Trail along Highway 1. Right there, it's a chrome card, unposted, $4 to $5. Next one's a linen card. It's an aerial view of a casino and beach in Lake Worth, Florida. That's a nice linen card. There's your blue. On one of my videos coming up, you'll understand what I mean when I say the blue. They put an extra color in the palette because of the fast drying inks, and I'll get into that in the linen video I got coming up. But that's a posted card, and it was posted 1954 on there, right in the linen era. Then you got another, I would say this is kind of a white border paper cardstock, but it doesn't have a white border, but it's kind of a montage of two different places, and it's MCR Depot, Kalamazoo, Michigan, and the Interurban Station. So it's a train station in Kalamazoo. Two different photos, unposted, $4 to $5. Then I'm still putting up these naval ship photos. This is an actual photo, and this is like a 3.5 by 5.5 one. It's not the 8 by 10s, which would bring more money, but it has all the dates and all the names and stuff on the back, so they're very easy to list. But this one's sold for $8.55. Then I got it. Same gentleman bought a submarine. It's a print card, one of those bigger 5 by 7, almost 5 by 7 cards, $4 to $5. So that gentleman bought 2 cards. Then we got into I always pick up the trams. I always look for those tram cars that go up the mountains and stuff like that. We went up to St. Andres mountain when we were in New Mexico for a week. We rode that one up there. That was pretty cool. But this was 1961 posted chrome card. That was $4 to $5 on that one. Then you get into a house, the Beavis house. So I don't know, it's just a house with a garage next door on there, and it was posted in 1950s. Just a chrome card. Now you got some Oak Creek Canyon right here. That's probably the same sky. Is this a Dexter? Nope, not a Dexter, but that looks like the same sky up there on there. But that's a nice chrome card. It's unposted, solid stock, nice and straight. It's just a view card. View cards sell. They don't go fast, but they will sell. And this is New Mexico Church altar on their religious card. Religious cards do sell. They do sit a little longer, but they will sell. This does have a little smudging of something down here, but I don't worry about that. It doesn't really hurt the value, as long as it doesn't go through the front of the image. This is what they're buying right here. $4 to $5. Same person bought another St. Joseph statue right here on there. This is a white border card. Now if you notice, there's a little serration along the top. This probably came out of a folder or something like that, and it's still sold. And it's the San Miguel Church, Santa Fe, New Mexico, St. Joseph statue. So if you see religious stuff, it'll sell. That sold, between $4 and $5. Same gentleman bought white sands cactus. Desert flowers for some reason sell. Joshua trees, the desert flora postcard I've sold a lot. Cactuses, pick those up. If you get them pretty cheap, they'll sell white sands casket. So it does have a price up here. Like I said, I don't take that off. It's a linen card. Cactus. That's really all it is. Let me do one more card here, then I'll get into the poll. This is an old stone church in Bells of a Mission. San Juan Capistrano. I have a lot of these cards. And this has got a kind of like a scalloped edge on it. I wouldn't call that scalloped. It looks like perforated. It's just kind of there. But it's a linen card. I can just tell from the blue, but by feeling it, has that waffle texture. Unposted, $4 to $5. Now I do these polls every Saturday. They go out, and people have been responding to them, and they're just quick questions. And they go out about 9 o'clock Central Time every Saturday. So if you reply to them, I'll probably get them into the video here. And they're all anonymous. I don't know who picks what. It doesn't show me all that information. But this poll that I did, that I pulled for this video, the question was, what type of reseller are you? And here's the poll. I said part-time, full-time, or other. And I'm not for sure what other is, because really there's part-time, full-time. But I always put other in there just to see what people say. So 64% of the people watching and selling postcards are part-time, and full-time there's 25%. So that's about where I kind of thought it would be. I thought full-time would be a little lower, but then the other came in there on there. But part-time resellers, it's a side gig, it's a hobby. They sell and trade postcards for their collection. A lot of people do that with action figures. I find with toys that they'll sell one of their higher end ones to buy another one. Or a lot of times what people do, collectors do, is they'll have this card in their collection, and their card has a stain or a ripped corner, and then they find the same card that's in better condition. What they'll do is they'll buy that card and then sell off this card, and they'll just keep moving up. That's what their goal is to keep enhancing their collection. So if you have multiples of a card, get them up there, because people are looking for that next level of card that the one they have. I know in my collection I have a few cards that are pretty nasty, but as soon as I find another one that's better, I'll take that and I'll put the other one up for sale. But full-time resellers, it is a job. It is work. A lot of people think reselling is easy. It's not. There's a lot of time to it. It's not like a 9-to-5 job. You're on it 24 hours a day, basically, except when you're sleeping, but you're still selling stuff then. But full-time gig, it's a hustle. And part-time, it's a hustle as well to keep up with it and keep up with all the changes. But a lot of people have a full-time job and do it part-time. And I did that for a while, too. But that's the polls. Make sure you go out there and check them all out. They're in the community tab on the channel. And there's a new one every week. I got them scheduled out for a while now. If you got any questions that you want me to put up for a poll, send them to me. I'll just go ahead and schedule out. They're very easy to do. And the reason I can do the polls now is because the channel reached 500 subscribers. We're almost a year. We're over a year now with the channel, and we reached over 500 subscribers. So now YouTube turned on the community tab, which allows me to do these polls. So if you're new to this channel, go ahead and subscribe so we can get some more stuff turned on. You can get notified, and the more people will be notified of these videos, and share it out, and the whole works. I don't ask for that a lot, but the more stuff gets turned on, the more things I can bring to you. Now let me go ahead and finish up these eBay cards. Remember, I had 26 cards on eBay. That's a good day for me. Some days, the other day I think I sold 4 cards total. It's a roller coaster, and never get discouraged when you have slow days. I don't really look at my sales daily. I do track it daily, but I don't really worry about it. I look at the month. How am I going to end up for the month? Then how am I going to end up for the quarter? How am I going to end up in 6 months? How am I going to end up for the year? Are my expenses in line to what I'm selling? Coming up into the holidays and stuff, a lot of people are going to be inside. Don't know what that's going to really do to sales sometimes. So I have a lower forecast in my head that I might do half of what I usually do during the time. But then when January, February comes, things usually pick up again, and then they die back down in the summer. But collectibles usually sell all year long. It really doesn't push during the holidays and stuff. It's a nice steady flow. And if you look at your average will go up and down a little bit, but mostly it'll stay steady, and that's where you want to get to. You want to get to a point where you have your base. Then you can go out and get those Krampus cards and get those, you know, good times and bad times in there, but you can weather it because you know you're doing your average. But this card here that sold is at Sago Lake near Gaylord, Michigan. Always pick up these types of swimming. It's got a lifeguard tower there, and trees. And is this a Dexter? Nope. I thought that would be same sky. But those always, this was 1963 posted. Chrome card, $4 to $5. That naval ship haul, I did pick up some first day covers, or naval ship covers they call them. And this is a big collector market out there. More than I even ever thought of. I always thought this was more in the stamp world, which it is. But these are the naval covers. That each ship has a post office crew on there. And that badge right there that I'm pointing to back there is a patch from the Navy, and the insignia on there is for the post office corps or whatever they call them. But each one has a different stamp, and this one has USS Halibut right there, and that's the stamp. So people request an envelope stamped from that ship, and I probably have a couple thousand of these, and these sell for like $4.55, so they're not that expensive, but there is a couple of them that went up a little higher, I think, but I don't know a lot about them. You know, they have the stamp on there. This is from 1961, and this gentleman bought that. It's a little longer than the standard envelope that I use, so I have to put them in a bigger envelope. They just don't fit real good in there. I can get them in there, but with the sleeve and stuff I put on them, it's just too tight. I don't want to wrinkle the edges and stuff and the person pulling them out, so I put them in a little bit bigger envelope, and it goes for 2 ounces instead of 1 ounce. But I've sold a few of these already, but that's a big thing to cancel the naval things. Not fast sellers, but just another thing that I put up there. And here's another swimming pool. This is a nice example of a linen card. It's got the waffle texture on it. It's got the blue. It's got a swimming pool in there. And now this is not a white border, even though it has what I usually see on white borders. This is a linen card. I can just feel the texture. So even though it has white border, doesn't mean it's a white border card. That's a linen card. And that's sold between $4 and $5. Next one is another ship, USS Indiana, $4 to $5. This was a pretty neat one. This is the USS Montana, but I think this is a gun from the USS Montana, BB-51. They're standing on the gun, but they're not in the water. But that's all it said, is that on the back. So I didn't really have that much information, but I put it up and it sold. Someone knows what this is. So $4 to $5. You don't have to know a lot about it to sell it. So that went to one gentleman. Next one is kind of a beat up card. This card I did put up because it was older. Divided back card, just probably right on the edge of undivided in that. But it's a church. And this church is Methodist Church, McKean, Pennsylvania. But it's got some tear down, peeling down there. It's got some corners up here. It's got a crease over here. But it was an older card, and churches do sell, and it is posted, and that's sold between $4 and $5 on eBay. Then I sold some more naval ships, and you're going to see a lot of these ships as I go through the year next year. Gentleman bought 3 of 1 card, so they get a volume discount. Since he bought 3, the volume discount's 15% off, and that offsets the combined shipping. Even though I got free shipping, that helps offset the shipping of each one. It's 15% because I don't refund the shipping when I have free shipping unless it's excessive. So if you buy 10 cards, you'll get 15% off. That kind of offsets the 53 cents per card. Next one bought another naval ship, Paul Hamilton. It's one of those bigger prints, $4 to $5. This card is Lake Griffin in Florida. Not really much happening here. I think it's high tide. There's a tree in the water, but a lot of people would not list this card. It's just a view card of there's nothing really happening, but it's sold $4 to $5. Florida has a lot of postcard collectors in it. So Florida, I bought a big collection of Florida a couple years ago, and I put them up, and they sprinkle through, and I sell them. Here's another one of the ships. This is an older picture of the William B. Biddle. That's one of those larger prints, 5x7, a little bit bigger than a Continental, and that was $4 to $5. Just got a couple more here, and then we'll get into viewer comments. This is Weber's Campground, San Juan's. I'm not too sure where this is. I'd have to check, but there's a campground. Some mountains out there, but unposted. As you notice today, I've had a lot of view cards, a lot of landscape cards and stuff like that sold. I list everything I can. If the card's good, like this one. This is a rock. This is Enchanted Mesa. It's a mesa. It's a neat looking picture. You can tell the blue. I can just tell this is a linen from the blue. But there's no border around it. It's all the way to the edge on there. But that's a linen card, $4 to $5. A lot of people wouldn't have posted that card. And then the last card that I sold on eBay is another religious card, and this is a runic cross. And I don't know, it's a big cross. Right in the middle of a church. I wonder how they got that in there, and they put a fence around it and everything so nobody can touch it, I guess. But religious cards. I did pretty good with religious cards today too. Boats and religious cards and mountains. They sell. Get them up there, and don't worry about the sell-through rate on postcards is 2 to 5%. So that means between 2 and 5 cards out of 100 that you have listed will sell, unless they're very unique and stuff and out of the ordinary. But that's what I track on the sell-through rate of my inventory into my sell every month is 2 to 5%. Now let me get into the viewer comments. This is my favorite part of the videos. These are questions that come from viewers, emails, and different places. Now the first one is from Bill. Bill's been here since basically I started the channel a year ago, and always has good comments, and he sells postcards, him and his wife, and they do a good job with the comments here. So Bill says, this was on the Undivided Back video where the official definition was a little more cryptic than I gave a simple definition. And he said, your plain and simple definition of undivided back is great. Even I can understand that. Some of these definitions that I parse out and look at just to make sure I get it right, some of them are just very geekish, just a lot of words, and I usually strip them out a lot. And he also went on and said, we also appreciate you showing the undivided back versus the divided back, and the more technical information on the history of postcards. Most of the stuff I give you is the highlights. There's a lot more information out there, but it gives you a good idea to get going, or if you've been doing it for a while, to look at something that you might have forgot, or just, re-educate yourself like that. Plus, as I do these, I educate myself. I know a lot about this stuff, but some of the details do surprise me as well once I dig into them. But thanks, Bill, for all your support this year, and got a lot of good things coming in 2022. Next one is this one's from Try to Learn This. That's a neat name. I always like names. Try to Learn This. He says, have I been doing this wrong? This is about what listing tool do you use to list postcard poll. And he says, have I been doing this wrong? These are great questions. I always think about it. Am I doing it differently? Is there a faster way to do this? So, have I been doing this wrong? So I have a listing template that has a majority information already filled out. He's talking about the eBay templates. That is just about the same for every card. I then add or change a field as per card. It takes me approximately 1 minute on average to do a draft. I submit 25 drafts per day to keep up with the supposed eBay algorithm. So my real question, are any of these listing tools better than what I'm doing? So I think I had eBay listing tool, 6-bit, InkFrog, other on the poll. I did look at 6-bit, but I've never used it, so I can't really say on the tools I don't use. InkFrog, I didn't like that. I looked at InkFrog because I had so many listings, I didn't want to lose them or whatever. I just didn't understand the sync real well. There was times I couldn't log in. Different things like that. I didn't know if it was going to change my listings. Maybe there was more to it, but I kind of used a trial on that, and I said no. But there are some people out there that used to use Turbo Lister, and the eBay listing page used to be huge, but now they've gotten it down to a point. it's whatever you're comfortable with. If you're doing them for a minute on average, I would just keep doing what you're doing. But some people get really caught up in, this is the best way, 6-bit's better, ink frog's better, or it's just like politics or games. Some people get really stuck on their side. I'm not like that. If something's better than what I'm doing, I just need to learn it, I'll do it. But it's whatever's comfortable for you, that works in your mind, and makes it right. So to answer your question, have I been doing this wrong? No. Whatever you're comfortable with. eBay listing tool is free. I don't have to pay for it. It's a good option. The other ones, there is some questions I would have on there, but I don't know them as well. Maybe someone else can talk about 6-bit or InkFrog, what the benefits over the eBay listing tool is on those and what it can do for you. That would be a great conversation. But I don't use those other ones. I use a eBay template. I have about 5 templates and do the same, exactly what Try to Learn This does, and just change a few things. Now this next comment came from Kelly, and Kelly's another long-term viewer. Kelly sells a lot of postcards, has a lot of knowledge. Her comments are great. She's to the point and supportive, and I appreciate her and Bill being on the channel along with Jules and some of the other people. I didn't call everybody out, but a lot of good people we picked up in the community, and hopefully with people subscribing in the next year that we even build it more. But Kelly says, great video. And this was talking about when I started, do you do free shipping, or do you have your own store, or do you charge for shipping? And this is probably the poll. She said, great video. I started out charging $3 shipping, but barely did 50 orders a month. So when she first started doing postcards, she's saying she was charging for tracking and everything. A lot of people go down that route because they feel they need to track and they keep top rated seller and stuff like that. Even though I did reach top rated seller with eBay standard envelope, because they changed that one parameter. Check that video out. I did make it. Not for sure if it gives me everything I need, but never thought I would in the postcard store. So I started out charging $3, but barely did 50 orders a month. Like you, I had loads of people complaining about not having a free option. A lot of postcard people are not going to pay $3 to $5 to ship a $4 postcard. You're going to get complaints. You're going to get people jabbing at you. I've talked to so many postcard sellers that have done the same thing, and they continue to do that, is tracking it, and they don't sell the cards. People on postcards, they like that free option, I found. So I took the leap and offered the choice of free versus $3. In the first month, I had over 500 orders. Right there is a perfect example of someone making a change. She saw something not working, and she made a change, and she 10 times the number of cards. That's how easy you can change your course of business with postcards. There's so many ways you can do it. Then she says, I have maybe 1 order a month where someone actually pays for tracking. That's about with me too. I had one the other day, wanted priority because it was a gift on Etsy. I offer first class and priority, but they pay for it. It's like $8 for priority or $9, and if they want first class, I think I charge $3 or $3.50 or something like that. They got to pay for that. If they want the full tracking, you have to pass those costs on, because I can't sell a $4 postcard and then ship it for $4. I'm not making any money to do it. It's not worth me doing that. And any business would not do it. You wouldn't go into Walmart and they would give you $10 to buy food. You go in there and give them $10 and they only paid $5 for the food, so they made $5. So you have to pass some of these costs on. Rarely have an issue with a card that doesn't arrive. So with eBay standard envelope, that helps. I still use stamp and labels for Etsy and Hip. My return rate is very low compared to the number of cards I sell. Just the other day, I had one issue. The gentleman bought 4 boat cards, naval ship cards, and they were shipped eBay standard envelope, but it just got stuck in my distribution center since like early November. And I told the gentleman, I said, so it was like a $22 order. And I said, okay, here's our options. Let's wait a week. I'll get back to you Monday. Let's see if it comes out. Because I know the East Coast gets a little backed up a little bit during the holidays. He agreed. And so I hit him up a couple days earlier. And I said, hey, John, did you get the cards? And he said, no. I said, okay, I said, what if I send you another set of the cards? Would that be a good option? I didn't say refund to him right away, because I do have a lot of these cards, and I knew I had another full set of 4 cards. So he said, that would be great. So what did I do? It was $22 order. I don't have much into these cards. I got 53 cents into the stamp already. I said, I'm going to send these priority because it's the holiday season. I'm going to pay the $8 to ship it priority. I put them in an envelope, and they're on their way. So instead of refunding $22, I ate $8 of that order. So I saved $14 that I would have had a refund. So I went the extra step and saved myself $14 of a total refund. But that will happen even with eBay standard envelope. You will have cards that don't make it. You have to figure that into your price and your cost. Then Kelly goes on, there are things that I don't do that others do, but it's just whatever you're comfortable with. We are all at a different points in our selling careers. Absolutely. That's what I like about Kelly's comments. She's just realistic that everybody does it differently. Everybody's at a different point. Everybody sees something different on this card than I see. I do it flat rate. I work at the divided back and below. A lot of people go to the higher cards, different type of sourcing, because a lot of those cards are in collections and stuff like that. You get a lot more questions when you get into the higher cards. My cards are pretty cut and dry, not a lot of research, not a lot of questions. Put it up, sells, ship. Put it up, sell, ship. But I will do the higher ones when I see them. But I kind of like the assembly line type thing, and I've been pretty successful with my model. Some people go after the higher end cards. They'll search out boxes and spend hours looking for that $130, $50, $100 card. They enjoy that. So there's so many different ways of doing it on there, but it is a quantity game. And some cards are, remember from my video on the golden age of postcards, there's billions of postcards out there. There's cards that move. I mean, mechanical postcards, a lot of them didn't make it, or a lot of them are in someone's collection, or pieces are missing. So if you want to understand about mechanical postcards, those are pretty cool cards. Check this video out up here, and I go through some of the mechanical postcards and the key points of that. But that's all I got for you today. I'll catch you on the next one.